episodes. I'm Alexandra Rink, and these are the top stories this week. World celebrated Earth Hour. Kiev-based environmental organizations also held a number of thematic events. Our journalists joined them in helping draw attention to pressing environmental problems.
Today, the old forest in the Holosivsky National Park will be renewed. During the annual Worldwide Earth Hour, volunteers will plant trees.
I wish that people just held their breath, looked around and understood what a wonderful world they live in, and also thought about taking care of it.
Park employees plan to plant about 2,000 trees in the 20-acre area, and 5 times that number birches and pines will be planted in the park in the spring.
Conditions here are very poor. As you see, there is only sand. Annual plants acclimate here best of all. That's why we choose them.
Participants also made bed houses. Young nature lovers helped their older colleagues. An ecological panda, also encouraging nature conservation, entertained both adults and children. Alexander Polozhinsky, frontman of the Tartak musical band, joined the event. He said that the name of his band is not a reflection on his attitude towards nature.
Knowing that Tartak means sawmill, some people perceive us as enemies of nature, but in reality we are friends of nature.
Last year, about 172 countries joined Earth Hour. In Ukraine, lights were turned off in more than 50 cities by both citizens and organizations. Today's event was also supported by ecology activists from Kyiv-Mohyla Academy.
We have a kind of discussion circle on environmental problems, climate change and much more. Later, lights will be turned off and we will hold a small acoustic concert.
Great energy savings from a lights-out hour are not expected, but rational resource usage is worth remembering every day. Victoria Solotka, Natalia Ponedilok for Episodes.
The first Zeitgeist movie was made more than 10 years ago by Peter Joseph. The ideas proclaimed in the films united many people in a global movement. Every year, activists organize an event called the Z-Day in their countries and cities to share ideas and discuss the current agenda.
All over the world, many activists of the Zeitgeist movement gather on local Z-Days. They discuss current social, ecological and economic problems.
In my opinion, the Zeitgeist movement includes the constructive stratum of society and intellectuals in general. I mean, these people focus on intellectual development. They want to solve current social problems.
One of the main ideas upheld by the movement is an economy based on the laws of nature and its resources.
The question of non-waste production and cyclical economy, when all materials are recycled and returned into the system, is a question of survival. Ukraine has the same possibilities as other countries. If we fight for social or economic changes, we will see them.
The sustainable economic development as an economy model, as an ideology, becomes an imperative of any economic policy. If you look at some regulations which are accepted by European Union or USA, you'll see that ecology is not just a motto, it is a definite problem.
Sustainable economic development provides a rational and scientific approach to the use of resources. An example of such an idea is an energy-efficient house.
At a rate of consumption of 24 to 30,000 kilowatts per year, this house takes just 8,000 kilowatts. So we have a significant surplus because we save resources. Moreover, our carbon dioxide emissions are lower. If one has such a house, the person feels free, because he or she doesn't depend on external power supply network or authorities. This is an independent building.
Such a house can be an ideal solution, but if you live in an average apartment, it is still possible to improve your comfort on your own.
I started with the automatization of lighting in the bathroom because you go there often with dirty or wet hands. So the point is, in a bathroom or water closet, a person likely won't fall asleep. That's why it wasn't difficult to implement this idea. There are two sensors there, a motion sensor and a reed switch door state sensor. It's enough to have these two options to understand if there is anyone inside.
Anna Hershkova, Alexander Portyan, Episodes.
Active citizens claim that a local library is throwing away books. The staff denies the accusations. Our journalists decided not to judge our situation by its cover and investigate further.
On Wednesday, Instagram user Anastasia Vesna posted that the Bolshevik Cultural Center in Kyiv will get rid of books from its library and asked the city community to come and take books to save them. We decided to go there and see for ourselves what is happening. Staff of the center are reluctant to talk on camera. A small mob has gathered in the hall.
We came here to get books after we seen the post that said no one cares about these books and either we take them or they're gone, and that's all really sad.
Staff says that the center is not throwing books away, but is transferring them to the library of the Bolshevik factory. Alena Lazukina, a book producer, tells this.
I saw two men from the staff went out of the center with 2 sacks loaded with books. When we had asked them what they were doing, they say that this is just the way they transfer books. I really doubt that in this country there are some public officers willing to carry books on their backs for 2 grand a month.
Factory representative Mykola Harmash confirms the words of the staff.
The cultural center Bolshevik used to be a part of the factory, but more than 10 years ago the center was transferred to the possession of the Kyiv city community. We took most of the books back then. It's a planned transfer of the rest.
Alina Nikulina and Yulia Nakonechna for Episodes.
And now it's time for the Cultural Digest with Yelizaveta Zeleniuk.
The Ivan Franko Museum in Lviv hired a cat that was found on social media. The cat was chosen from 20 candidates. He was born in one of Lviv's basements and for a long time had lived in the streets of the city. For the past 4 months he was in a veterinary clinic. The new employee's name is Murkit, as in Ivan Franko's famous tale The Fox Mikita. Organizers of the Eurovision contest have offered Russian singer Julia Samoylova remote participation in the song contest, as Samoylova was banned from entering Ukraine for 3 years. The European Broadcasting Union reported that Samoylova could perform live in the second semi-final via satellite. If she gets to the final, the technology will remain the same. On March 12th, Russia selected its Eurovision contestant, singer Julia Samoylova. The American HBO channel has made a documentary series that is dedicated to WBO World Featherweight Champion Ukrainian Vasyl Lomachenko. The series shows 2 days of training leading to Lomachenko's victory over Jamaican Nicholas Walters. HBO reporters followed Lomachenko for 2 days, from his training to the fight itself, in which the Ukrainian boxer won in the 7th round. The We Are performance that took place at Kyiv's Laundry Theatre tells its story through the lives of Ukrainian actors. Recently, the underground theater movement in the Ukrainian capital has been playing out in flash colors. Young actors, musicians and dancers gather in rented basements and industrial dawns to make stages and create their own performances, while experimenting with genres and forms. The Laundry Theatre is one of the new theaters. It has already been on tour in Poland. The theater will soon participate in the Freedom Prison Festival in Denmark.
This week, Ukrainians celebrate Philologists' Day. The choice of professions for graduates of art faculties is a wide one, but this doesn't necessarily make life any easier and often makes it even more complex. So what can you do if you're an art student? Learn more in our next story.
To go or not to go to study the humanitarian specialty? Thousands of future students ask themselves the same question every year. We tried to figure out whether it's really difficult to be humanitarian. Anna is a philologist. Despite the fact that she just graduated from the university, she tried herself in many humanitarian jobs.
I wanted to be a writer, firstly. It was my big dream. That's why I entered to university and chose this specialization. After I understood that I need money, and I started to work as a teacher, Spanish teacher.
Moreover, she worked as a journalist and translator. Now Anna is a tour guide. It's a great way for her to practice languages, meet people from different countries and make money from it. Despite such a diverse background, it's hard for her to decide what she wants to do in the future.
It's a very difficult question for me now. It's difficult to be independent, to be successful and to be philologist at the same time.
Expert says that the key to success for humanities is studying languages.
Languages are the significant trump card on the labor market. To paraphrase the saying, the more languages you know, the more successful you will be.
An important factor in choosing a profession is its payment. In the humanitarian field, workers of PR sector have the highest salaries. The next are the television journalists, translators, publishers and teachers. Scientists of humanities have the lowest salaries. Humanitarian sector is not the most highly paid. However, expert says it's a big mistake to force yourself to choose a job because of high salaries, not by vocation.
The worst thing is, if you are humanitarian, but force yourself to do something technical because of financial factor, do what you are capable. It makes human happy.
Anna doesn't regret she has received this specialty and believes that the situation will change for the better.
In a few years, we will see examples how a humanitarian specialization can be useful and can be well paid.
The diploma of the humanitarian is not a verdict. You need only apply knowledge correctly and find the job you like. Svetlana Popova for Episodes.
Have you heard about Pechina, the Kyiv-Mohyla-based choir? The choir, formed mostly by students and teachers of the academy, has a lot of upcoming performances and concert tours. Our journalists decided to learn more about the choir's plans for the future.
Today is a memorable day for the Pechina Choir. It will not only perform in the Perekhostya church, but is on the brink of releasing its 5th album. Despite the age differences and various professions of its members, there is one thing that they have in common. It's their love of music. You can wake them in the middle of the night and they'll easily perform songs by Vedel, Bortnyansky and other famous Ukrainian composers. Alexander Zhigun is the founder and conductor of the Pechina Choir. Now, when the choir has turned 30 and preparing its 5th album, he seems to be really proud of his creation.
Kyiv-Mohyla's Pechina Choir is a unique collective which I think does not exist anywhere else in the world. No exaggerations here. Today our self-regulating chapel releases the 50th collective release of local symphonic music. And even such universities as Bologna and Sorbonne does not have that.
Today the Pechina Choir is singing in the Perekhostya church. Its repertoire is wide. The Pechina Choir performs Ukrainian religious music composed in the 17th, 18th centuries and also pays tribute to modern 20th century composers like Elemdar Karamanov, Otar Taktakishvili and Bohuslav Martin.
The pieces that we have been singing are the pinnacles of the music classics. It's ravishing.
The Pechina Choir is Kyiv-based, but is always glad to visit other cities too. On April 9th, it will perform Luigi Cherubini's Requiem in Poltava. Vera Duzhak, Sofia Gavrilyuk, Episodes.
Last week, the petition to move the pamphlet factory out of Kyiv finally got the required 10,000 signatures. People have been complaining that the plant is polluting the air in Ukraine's capital for quite a while now. But this Tuesday, people living on Kyiv's left bank protested outside the city council to attract more attention to the issue. Our correspondents decided to find out what the future holds for the pamphlet factory.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning. There is a meeting of pamphlet factory workers in front of Kyiv State Administration. They came here to protect their workplaces. The opponents are coming towards them in a funeral procession to bury the clean air, which is polluted by the factory.
The technology of production on this plant is just too outdated. This is pure manipulation. Our opponents are yelling, "Shame on you." But what we should be ashamed of is that a factory like that is situated in our beautiful city.
Residents of Kyiv left bank are complaining about the smell and chemical emissions.
Every time the government examined the plant, the pollution tests were normal, but every time a test was made, the plant wasn't working or was working less than usually.
The workers are outraged. Some of them has been working in the factory for 20 years.
We work with our hands, we're trying to earn an honest living, we pay our taxes, but they still want to shut us down.
They are demanding that we change our filters, and we are doing that already. All of this talk about shutting us down, we have constitutional right, we have children and families.
Factory claims that they have working permits, as they are trying to meet environmental standards.
We've coexisted peacefully for 7 years. They ordered things from us and nobody had any problems. But then the developer ran out of space and the ecological committee allowed the factory to keep working.
A member of the Committee of Environmental Policy says that new developers, including Comfort Town, do not follow the city master plan. Maria Buchelnikova, Eleonora Shatkivska, Episodes.
A dog is a man's best friend. Dog therapy keeps getting more and more popular in Ukraine. How do rehabilitation dogs help people to reduce stress? And which dogs are apt for such a job? In the next episode.
It is Nosy in the rehabilitation center Rodina, which deals with children with special needs. The dogs Nessie, Mira and Chief came to them during the therapeutic session. Kinestherapy is rehabilitation with help of medical dogs. The mother of Pavlik, who is engaged in the center, says that her son likes this therapy very much.
Of course, this is a great advantage. He started paying attention to street dogs pointing his finger at them. He gets definitely positive emotions.
Alexandra says that after such activities, Pavlik feels better.
He began to spell the dogs' names, especially Ella, but Nessie and Mira are still difficult for him.
The dog trainer Anastasia, who works with children, says that this therapy helps to reduce stress and to develop communication skills. She explains what dogs can become therapists who deal with children.
It is better when one dog is calm and another is lively, because there are children who like quick exercises and those who enjoy quietness. But the main requirement to such dogs is to be safe.
Olga Smirnova, the coordinator of the initiative Heroes Companion, in which dogs help ATO soldiers with rehabilitation, said that they have begun to work with children with special needs. She tells about the criteria the dogs are selected by for this job.
Dogs are chosen for their qualities. They must be friendly to their owner and other people and animals. They have to be gentle, tender and well-mannered.
The dog Alika is training to become a therapist. Its owner Yulia demonstrates the commands Alika has already learned.
Аля, лежать. Лежать. Ползти. Умничка. Вставай.
Yulia says that they are preparing for the exams for Alika to become a medical dog.
It is more likely that Alika will work with kids with special needs than with adults. She is very friendly and has good contacts with children.
Kinestherapy is becoming popular in Ukraine. Official medical institutions are starting to apply this kind of therapy in their practice. Natalia Kucherava, Andrei Rogozin, Episodes.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and until next week, take care.